Hi, this is Christy Wellborn, and you're listening to Estes Park Radio.com. It's time for the stars tonight. I would like to welcome from the Estes Park Memorial Observatory, Mike Connolly. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Christy.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you, too.
October
already. Are you ready for it?
I guess I'm going to have to be.
Yeah, September went really fast.
Sure
and
did.
Well, let's start with the moon, the stars, and the planets.
What we can see in the sky for October.
What we can see in the sky. Well, October is, starting with the moon, we have the Hunter's moon.
Oh, the Hunter's moon.
The Hunter's moon, which goes back, the Indians did it. The Hunter's moon is defined as the first moon after the autumn equinox, which happened, the autumn equinox happened late September 23rd. And so this is the first full moon. And of course, the idea with the hunters was it was good for hunter gathering, and especially the Indians. And then Northern Europeans, they said they do bird hunting even in the evening, and that was part of the hunter's moon too. So that's kind of neat. So that'll be on the 12th of October, we're in the early part of October. So we have just a new moon right now, which is just a crescent, and it's phenomenal. If you go out early evening, just after the sunset, you may catch the last glimpses of Saturn.
Okay.
I did it the other night, and we can still see it, but it is so low in the horizon, it's not a very good object. But luckily, Jupiter comes up. So around 9 p.m. at night, Jupiter peeks over that mountain that's just east of us. I don't know what it's called, but it's on Highway 34.
I can't think of it either.
No, yeah, I know it from the observatory because it's got a peak that if the peak wasn't there, I could see Jupiter about a half hour earlier, but I have to wait till it totally clears the peak. But luckily then it's starting to get high enough in the sky where we can get a good view, and Jupiter's just awesome. Our two jewels in the sky, as far as planets and I'm concerned, are Saturn and Jupiter. And we had Saturn all summer, and now we have Jupiter. And in early March or early October, you can go out like at 9 p.m. and see it rise, and by 10 p.m. it's up really high enough so that we can get a good view out of the atmosphere.
How many months will Jupiter stay in the sky?
Jupiter it'll be up all winter.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, up until January and February.
Okay.
And it crosses the whole sky just like Saturn did for the spring and summer. It was just awesome. So those are in good timing. You know, they each have an orbital period that's huge. Like Saturn's orbital period is 29 years. So every half a century or so, they're aligned such that we'll see one and then the other, and that's cool, you know, so we got a good view. The neat thing about Jupiter, of course, is his cloud bands. We see both his southern and northern cloud bands, and the four moons, Io, Europa, Callisto, and Ganymede. And each of those are changing positions almost on a nightly basis. We see the moons in a different place. And just the other night, we got lucky, saw Io transiting Jupiter. It was just going, you see it and then you don't see it. And then you see its shadow on the planet. And we could see that with our telescope. The other cool thing about Jupiter is its giant red spot. It has
the red spot,
the giant red spot, and it's been going on. It's a hurricane that's been going on there for about 300 or 400 years.
Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm. And it's got wind speeds up to 200-300 miles an hour. So
and how come it just keeps going?
It just keeps. It's in its atmosphere, and we don't understand how it came about or where it's going to go or why it's there and that's lasted so long. It's just like the southern cloud band of Jupiter disappeared for about a year and a half, and it did that same thing in the 50s.
So we cut that out, don't we?
Okay, let me get a quick drink. So it did the same thing in the 50s, and then mysteriously it came back. Has something to do with the ammonia in the upper atmosphere that I don't understand, but it just made it disappear. So Jupiter's a cool thing. The other two planets that we see all the time is Neptune and Uranus. And they are in prime spots for viewing. They're not spectacular. We see them in our 12-inch telescope, especially Neptune looks like a bluish satellite, or it's bluish star. Uranus looks a little green, but the only reason that we know that they're, I have to find them on the computer and point the telescope there, and sure enough, they're there, but they're not spectacular like Jupiter and Saturn. Mars, if you just before dawn, Mars is starting to come up, and it'll get better as the winter progresses. So that'll be good. That pretty well covers the planets. Now we do have a neat comet. It's comet Girardi or Girard. Okay, it's a comet that's been visible for the last few months, and it's getting more and more visible, almost to the point where we can see it with the naked eye. They call it magnitude. It'll be a magnitude 6 in October. And that means that on a dark night, you can go out. And if you know where the constellation Hercules is the hunter. Mm-hmm. The comet Girardi is right on the eastern edge of Hercules. So we could find that, and we'll try and find that in our as we bring visitors over to the observatory. That's one of the things I want to see if I can find is that comet.
Okay.
So that's always fun. We have new photographs. There's a mission called Dawn, and its mission was to go to the asteroid Vesta. Vesta is the largest asteroid in the asteroid belt, and it's bigger than Pluto.
Wow.
And that's part of the reason Pluto got demoted, because there's things out there that are bigger than Pluto that if we called Pluto a planet, then they were arguing that you start to have to call these other things planets. But anyway, they had some spectacular in early October, just a week ago, this last week. They had some astronomy pictures of the day that the Dawn orbiter that is now in orbit around the asteroid Vesta has taken, and they're just spectacular. It looks like a giant potato, and it's the size of Manhattan, and it has craters, and it's got some mountainous ranges on it. They're trying to figure out how it comes about and things like that. But this Dawn mission will orbit this asteroid for a year. Most of our asteroid knowledge has always come from a flyby, really quick. And this way we can change its orbit. We can use all of its instruments, and it's loaded with instruments to get analysis of its geology and all of the stuff that's going on with it. So that's kind of cool. So, and we can see Vesta in our telescopes. We can see the asteroid, and we of course can't see the Dawn spacecraft, but we can be aware and the pictures that they're sending back. So that's kind of fun. So
that's probably really
that's good.
All right. So I'm just going to say, well, if people want more information or they want to come over to the Estes Park Memorial Observatory, what's your phone number? We know where it is.
Do we know where it is? The phone number is 970-586-5668, and that's just a second line to my house, and it's just general information. And I can give you the nights that we're not booked. And if you want to go to our website, and we keep our calendar up on our website, and it's very good. That's angelsabove.org. Or if you just get into Google and put Estes Park Observatory, it'll come up. And look at the calendar and see if there's an open night, and I'll be glad to take on visitors. And of course, we're all free and donation based. And the only thing that we have is sometimes we have conflicts with the kids that are coming over from the high school and classes. We have the outreach classes that we'll talk about.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you again very soon.
Sounds good.
Mike
Thank you.
Connolly with the Estes Park Observatory. I'm Christy Wellborn, and you're listening to EstesParkRadio.com.